Hello again, everybody. It's Harry Boxer, the technical trader at techtrader.com. It's Saturday, December the 16th. This is the weekend webinar. Another strong week in Wall Street. Indices, some of them, Dow free in particular, at the all-time highs, and several others pushing it or getting close. World markets solid, and the problem is that extended indicators, but the market climbs a wall of worry. The market always goes further than you think it's going to go, and we just can't tell. I will say it's vulnerable, but momentum is a funny thing, and momentum tells me this could still be 4,800, 4,900, anything until we break. We'll find out what that's all about early next week, likely. Market certainly has enough momentum, and individually, hundreds and hundreds of stocks are looking better than they have in a long time. Let's start off with the S&P 500. As you can see, my projections could be as high as between 4,900 and 4,975 at some point, depending on, if you look at this measure move and add it onto there. So that's where we stand with the S&P 500. Here's your Nasdaq 100, which broke out above the high of July, flagged and ran again. The measure move calls for even higher levels. Top of the channel says 19,000 to 19,500, but I'm not looking for that. We could extend this where this market will pull. On a measure move basis alone, Nasdaq 100 went from 14 to move occurred on a measure move, and it wouldn't be out of the realm of possibilities. That's what that looks like. And let's look at the transportation index, which really came out along with the small caps to confirm what's going on. We broke out of a 5-wave decline, bottomed, and did multiple waves up. Now, I'm not sure if it's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, which is what it looks like. But more importantly, it's an inverse head and shoulder breakout, flag, and pop. I can see an extension to take this one up towards 16,600, something of that nature, would be your next potential target. On the same side, same point, we have a potential retest of and or fill of that little gap, which brings us down to 15.6 before we get up to 16.7 or 16.6. So that's what I wanted to point out was that after the NDX and S&P ran, this was trailing a little bit, but it certainly played catch up. Week, going from a low of about 185 to over 200, 201 roughly. High here was 198.75. It's the highest level we've seen since August of 22, when we reached the 201.99 area. Again, the high on Friday, 290. So again, quadruple top, long, year-and-a-half long base, which could really, if the small caps want to blow, this is the place where they can just explode. A lot of them have already done that, which caused this run up. If you look at the way I've looked at it, it's a big thrust. It is a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a big fifth wave up. This may be counted as 5, 6, 7. It's a tough call. The bottom line is from the lows, which is a triple bottom, to the highs, which are quadruple tops. There is a key resistance area up here for small caps. The next logical target will be best. Okay, McClellan Oslo infinite week 177. This island reversal, for example, we've seen it before on various occasions where we had 2-day island reversals or something of that nature. Anyway, pull back towards, I would say, somewhat neutral at only plus 67. But it's a sign of a weak underpinnings in the market. If you look at the last a day in particular. And again, it's options, quadruple witching and index adjustments going on in the S&P. They're caused a lot of gyrations and technicals to be mixed. I'm going to leave it there on that. Take a look at the VIX volatility index, all the way down to 12.25, and that's the lowest reading we've had, believe it or not, going way back almost 4 years. It's a 4-year low in the VIX, which isn't a good sign. Obviously, the complacency in the market, the confidence of the bulls is a bit rampant now and showing a dangerous area for the market, especially when you see the McClellan oscillator hitting 161. Now, that's not extreme either, neither is this, but enough that could cause a substantial pullback or a lot of at least volatility and gyrations going through the next couple, 3-4 weeks. The percentage of stocks above their 40 ramped up 74. That actually reached on Thursday 77 range, 77%, meaning more than 3/4 of all stocks were above their 40. You can see going back a couple of years that level, that range has always been overbought for the market. So the market's overbought. Yeah. Can it go higher? Sure. Can it be overbought, remain in a range where it could eventually roll over? But from a standpoint of where we are now, continue that. Yeah, they can do that. But I'm just urging a lot of caution up here because the market's extended. It's overbought by several indicators. It's not extreme. We may get a few more days of that and then get extreme, at which point look out below for at least a pullback. But I got a feeling the last couple of weeks of this year are going to be extremely volatile and choppy for several reasons. So you got to be on your toes, and hopefully the guidance I give you will assist you in being as profitable as you can be. All right, let's move on to the major ETFs that we follow closely. Semiconductors were leading the way. Look at that move. 7 days in a row, from a low of 157 to a high of nearly 176. 19-point run up in the SMH, or about a 13-14% move very quickly to what I consider a mid-channel line if I look at the internals right there. So this is at a point of vulnerability as well, but the measured move hasn't quite been reached. So I would look for maybe in a day or two of extension, and then going into the Christmas time, between now and Christmas, I could get sloppy and choppy, as I was saying, if not pulling back. So here's the semiconductors. Biotechs really plowing ahead. I mean, the XBI has gone from the November low was 63.80, and we just reached 86.79. 23 points, or about 35% rally, and just since November 1st in the XBI. Now it is coming up to an area where there's declining top lines, lateral price resistance as well. So there's plenty of reasons for the indices to back off and retest or give some retracement here. And finally, the three groups that follow the most, the financials are the other, FAS. What a move this has had ever since interest rates have been rumored to be coming down. 48.73 low, right around the beginning of November. From 48 to 83 nearly. That's a monster move for an index, similar to what we had in here, which got into an overbought area. Now, the overbought, I say the key resistance on this is the triple top that comes in up around 93. So this has some room to go somewhat further, but it may have to pull in first, consolidate a little bit before it goes up the channel, and we'll just have to see again what happens. This one was down 1.7% on Friday, financials were, while the biotechs were up almost a half a point, and the semiconductors were up also about half a point, 0.5%. So despite all the churning, biotechs and semiconductors did well, while we had started to see some weakness in financials. That made somewhat sense to me, though. Okay, some more ETFs. What about oil? What's doing with the USO, for example? Not much. Still a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves down. So we're at a point now where the market could stabilize in this area, but until I see evidence of an upward surge, we might also get down into the low 60s before this. Not too long. Same goes with the UCO. Gush, which I follow closely. perked up a little bit, but not enough to break out of the channel. We're still in that pattern. The key resistance now up here about 35. Natural gas, well, it was getting creamed for a long time with KOLD running, but you can see the last 3 days we reached a resistance level across here. After a big run that saw coal go from 44 to 120, nearly triple in just 5 or 6 weeks, it's finally got some profit taking setting in last week. $90 is support, below that 87. Resistance 120, more like 118, and the target could be as high as mid 130s or more if momentum continues, but gotta be careful with that one. On the opposite side is Boyle, which got hammered and has now bounced for 3 days, but unimpressively, in my opinion. What about gold? Well, I'm starting to really like this pattern. Take a look at this inverse head and shoulder, breakout, retest of the moving average, create a new trend line, and bounce sharply. Now there's resistance right there at the weekly high at about just under 32 for GDX. But the base is there, the breakout's there, the retest is there. So we're watching that carefully. And the GDXJ, which is junior golds, also broke out, retested, and snapped back nicely. This one indicates to me a bottoming pattern in gold and junior golds could create a big run in gold over the next few weeks and months, but it's hard to say. I want to see if we, the number one, break through the neckline of this longer pattern. GDXJ has to get back over almost 40. All right. Silver just isn't keeping pace. I just don't like the pattern. I'm going to wait on the silver group. So I'm going to move on. Now we have a lot of stocks to cover. Starting with Alcoa, which had a big week, spiking from under 24 to 32.5. We're talking about 8.5 points vertically for an old-line stock like that. It's a major breakout of a declining top sign, but not the long one. You take a look at where it peaked out back in 22, in the 90 range, wasn't it? 95. They took this thing down to the low 20s, 95 to 23. How about that? The long-term downtrend, which has about 4 points, is right up here. If Alcoa backs and fills and forms some sort of flag, pennant, or setup, I'll be very bullish on it for a move to 38. For now, though, a little extended, but it certainly has broken out. AAOI, one of our old favorites, is continuing to make a phenomenal move and hit 23.99, a new multi-year high. Let's see if it's an all-time high. No, but it is the highest level achieved since 2018, end of 2018. So we're talking about a 5-year high for AAOI, and doesn't look done yet. This might very well extend if the market does. ACHR, which was looking great all year, then came down. It formed a large rising channel, and it's moved off of it. Came out of a base, formed a little bit of a wedge here, popped out, retested. It's a little choppy, but once this thing gets above 7.5, I think you're on your way to 8, 10, or 12 even. AFRM, also one of our favorites, and a swing trade broke out. We put a swing on it. This has moved from the high 20s to the high 40s, 46.96 being the high. It continues to look great and accelerating with a target now of 48.9 and 55. Alpine Immune Sciences, I don't talk about it too often, but I want to point out that it's gone through some big key multi-year resistance. It's now trended from the November 13th low around 1080 all the way up to near 20 in 1950, about a 90% move, and a key breakout, long-term target 27. Alt ALT with an explosive move and pullback, and now another explosive move up the last 4 days in a row after reversing off 480. It's now 763. Any breakout above 8.5, we're looking at $11 potentially. Need some volume though. ALXO, this junior biotech broke out of a base to a triple top, spiked, and has been trending ever since. The overall look tells me we could see a retest of this high around 15 short term. AMD, well, multiple year highs. Let's see. Highest level since 21. That's a 2-year high. Broke out on Friday in particular. Oh, wait a minute. That's a weekly. It broke out this week and is holding up beautifully. Extension targets 148.50 and 163.65. ANF, strongest retailer on the board, in my opinion, since the May low when it was trading at 22. It's reached the mid 80s. It's got a powerful pattern that says it isn't done yet, although on a longer term basis, it's up highs from 2007 and 8. This is a 15-year high and resistance in that area. Something to be careful about. APG and the APLD, a swing, popped out, we put a swing on it and moved up to target number 1. Target number 2 is up around 8. Current support about 5 3/4. Apps Tech Trader swing popped out, we put a swing on it, it's moved from about 5.5 to 7.20. And as energy, I think we get up to 7 3/4, and then we're looking at 8.5, 9. ARDX, another Tech Trader swing breakout. And store. Just under 8. EUTL, also a Tech retest. Pop, falling wedge, and now rising channels underway. Targets are 6 and 7.5. Double top is, and now I have a target, believe it or not, in the mid 40s and then mid 50s. Biohaven, after getting crushed in October, I think on a broken deal, a broken merger deal, dropped from 150 all down to single digits. It's worked its way back to 40, and it looks like it could partially fill the gap into the 50 range. BRBR has been a beautiful rising channel all year. It's from the November low 21 and change, it's made it into the mid 50s. On a long-term basis, near the channel top as well. So this one's extended, but I'm how strong it's been. Kaba broke out this week as well, to a double triple top, and might extend into the mid 20s, my target. Long-term pattern, fabulous. CBay, one of our Tech Trader swings, has popped in July, reached the target, pulled back between 25 and 6. Last week was huge for CCCC, which literally went from $1.15 to a high of 837, and then came down and bounced, but it needs a period of digestion. It's had too big a move. Volume was huge, 176 and 225 million, trading 400 million shares in 2 days on a breakaway move. Very, very monstrous type move. CCJ, the largest purveyor of uranium, it continues in a rising pattern. It's currently platforming. Target 50 and then 53.4. CDIO, pop, coil, pop, falling wedge, and then pop again right back to resistance. My target is 5. This could be big next week. Keep an eye on it. CDNA popped, we put a swing on it, and then flagged and broke out. Got up to near support key around 99.15. Seco, this is one beautiful. The 25-fold and flagging and looking higher. Keep an eye on this one for 22 and 25. It coiled in multiple top broken with a spike up on Friday in particular. Another 11%. Volume has been solid the last week. Angle of ascent says it might be $8 and $9. CLBT popped a couple weeks ago, has been flagging ever since. Underlying technicals look solid. My target now 10. CLF may be acquiring US Steel, at least that's what I'm hearing. This is breakout, coil, pop, retest, pop again. My target's going forward to 20, 20 and a half, and 22 and a half, 23. CLLS with a monstrous move in one day, tripling 200%, and then a coil developing in the last 5 weeks. Looks very promising. Should it break out over 323, you might see 4 and 5. CLS, Celestica, I believe is all-time highs. Let's see. And the channel up tells me we can extend towards 33. Koya, well, we finally got the breakout we were looking for weeks ago here, and ever since it's been sitting here forming some sort of coil or flag. It's a bullish pattern. My target is 9. Kinetics, pop, pull back, we put a swing on it, and then move from the mid-20s to the mid-30s. My target for an extension is 37 and 41. CRISPR, well, we did great with this one. As it broke out, we put a swing on it, went pop 1, 2, 3, and went all the way literally from high 40s to high 70s. Back in field, had a massive reversal day and came down, reversed on Wednesday. Left call right now, we definitely keep a stop under 54, and we need to get this one going back. Again, obviously resistance at mid to high 70s. Carvana broke out again, flagged and popped up at 60s. CW. Water World, obviously we've gone from 1365 tripling into the 39 range. Continues to consolidate it here. Next target is 40. Dell, swing trade, popped, coiled, popped again, got hammered, held support, and snapping back. I don't think it's done. 75 and 82 are targets. DERM came out of a base, it just kept going. A beautiful rising angle at resistance, but looks like it has momentum again to double digits. Target 9. DraftKings had an ugly Thursday, Friday after reversing near resistance. This one has to get back above 40, 39 and a half or so, and then your target's 44. Denali, after a long decline, watching it go from the low 30s down to 15, it reversed platform that broke out. This is get to 25, will be upwards of 30. Duolingo, a tech traded swing, pop broke out, rising flag and extending. I think it's got more to go. It's like 250 is my near-term target. In the gold sector, I wanted to show you relative strength in one junior gold. That's Eldorado. It's going literally from 8.25 to 13.5 and pull back to test the breakout point. But I like the overall look of this one. It's a massive left shoulder, head, right shoulder over the last couple of years, which could really, if the gold market takes off, this could be a real percent gainer, EGO, in gold sector. NBX, 5-wave decline, popped, platform, and broke out with a little breakaway gap as well. Now looking for then set up an 18 and a half. STC in the software realm breaks the base target, massive gap, and it's flagging in here. I think it goes higher. 130 is my target. ET the world, great chart. Back in here if it doesn't. EVER breaking out of a base and flagging, then broke out again. It's right at secondary resistance, but I have a target now of 14.75. EVER. EXPE, look at that long base. Look at that breakaway gap. Breakout, rising channel. Now this one could really move. I would not be shocked to see 1 65 and 85. EYPT popped, pulled back, and held, so I put a swing on it, and then popped it back off one more time. Hasn't broken out yet, hasn't broken down yet. Obviously, you want this to hold 17, 17 and a quarter, and then take this, what looks like a narrowing coil, and pop to the upside. Your targets are 24 and 28. Foot Locker, popped out of a base, a little bit of a coil, popped out again. Really good looking chart, but there is a big gap here to be aware of, and that's at 32-ish. Your near-term target, you get through that, you fill it, you get to 30. Back out of a base. Thursday, Friday were really good days for it. 3 days, it's gone from 137 to 170. And next targets are 175, 182, 190. GBTC, the other Bitcoin trust, crypto related. Look at this move, folks. This has literally gone from under 8 to the 36 range. It doesn't look done, although it is at resistance, so you got to be careful with anything Bitcoin. I think it's due for a pullback. Geo, we put a swing on it when it popped out. It just kept going. It's been a beautiful swing so far, and I don't think it's done yet. Targets are 11 and 12 and a half. GIII, this is the tuxedo rental and apparel manufacturer. 35 and change. It's up in here, so be careful with it. Over. Well, I think that base augurs well for a move that eventually gets us into the low 20s. Go to 564 in a week and a half, and as volume increased dramatically. It's overbought, it's overextended, it's at resistance, just an FYI. GPS popped out, we put a swing on it, it just kept running. This has gone from the 17 to 22 range. My target's 25. Garmin, how about this pattern? Long, V bottom with long platform, multi-month platform. The breakout and rising flag is really well constructed. My target's 132, 34. GTHX exploded, had 1 day pullback and a sharp one, but bounced nicely. If I can get it over Friday's high above 3, I'm looking for 4 and 5. GitLab, old swing of ours, broke out of a massive consolidation range and threw a double top with a breakaway little gap right there. Give you a little pullback and going higher, but I still think 71 to 77, 78 are your targets. Massive resistance, multiple tops taken out there and retested. It's working its way higher. I don't know how far it goes, but I will tell you this. My long-term target, 70. That's 20 points. IDYA, you gotta like this chart. It's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, even though it's got 5 waves, I think it's got momentum. Now it's gone from 13 to 36, nearly tripling, and it's had some key resistance here. So if it accelerates, you may see high 30s pretty quickly. Be careful though up here. IMMX similarly breaks out of a base, retests the moving averages, creates a new trend channel, and bounces along that. Spike Thursday, Friday, up 4 1/4 to 747. At some key resistance up here. May need to give you a little bit of pullback flag for it to extend. IMBT, one of my favorite biotechs. And pop the coil, pop the flag, and it's flagging again. My target, high 50. Intel. Here at 25, it based out, broke out, and been working its way higher. Not only was Friday above for a breakout, nice run with a target of 17. Keep an eye on this one. IONQ, strong chart was broken here, but the breakout occurred again. I like this one for a potential swing. to 19 and 22. IOVance, also a tech-traded swing, broke out here, put a swing on it, it worked to the target, it's worked to the second target, it's at the top of the channel, it's moved from 3 1/4 to 8.50, so it's extended, but there may be a momentum to 9.5. Just be careful on anything that's moved that much that quickly. IREN breaks out of the falling channel, spikes and flags. Target 7 3/4 and 11. Jack Pacific breakaway gap from a multi-month down channel and just up the channel. Okay, really strong here. I think it makes its way into the high 30s. Exploded on monster volume of over 100 million shares, pulled back for a couple of days on low volume, and now has resumed its advance. Can it move more higher? Targeting 6 and 8.5, 9. If you get that over Friday's high, of course. LFMD tech traded swing, broke out there, kept going from 5 to 8, 9, and backed off. And as long as it holds this line and the VWAP around 7, that would be my stopping point. Target 10. Look at this long-term chart at LMB, which in August of last year was $5. High this week, 44.99. My target is mid-50s. Logitech, tech traded swing broke out, coiled, broke out again, put a swing on it. It's gone from the high I think it was 78.88. Yeah, right. 90 day and my target. Great chart. Long term. Lithium or Livent broke out this week. I put a swing on it. I believe it extends to 19 and 22. Mara. In the Bitcoin realm, Mara is almost at the July high when it reached 1988, closing over 18 on Friday. A little bit of momentum maybe left. We'll see. Support 14. And MiMedx group in the biotech sector, after months of consolidation and resistance near 8 1/4, broke out and it closed at 9 on Friday. I believe this is a $11, maybe $13 stock. MGMX also broke through multiple tops and is surging. My target is 10.5 and 12, like that chart too. MOR, look at that move off the low. Imploded, exploded. They dropped that from 8.5 to 4 and jumped it up to near 10. How about that for a move? But coming through a triple top and doing that, the stock may have. Not going to be shocked with the move. It gets this one into the mid-teens. MP, I popped out Thursday. I love this company. I hate the chart until Friday Thursday when it broke out above the moving averages and out of that mini base. What I need to see though is a follow through 19. When you see that, look for 22 and 26. Newmont Mining, one of the major goals. I wanted to show you the inverse head and shoulders. It hasn't broken out yet, but should this get to 41.2 zone, it could take off. NET, Cloudflare, beautiful 1.5 year long base. Popped out, flagged, and popped again. Feels like this one could go. And I'm not kidding. I'm thinking this goes into the 125 range. Could be a real good swing or option play. Nanox, I think the base is developing to a point where it's about to break out. It remains to be seen. I need it over 7 with volume. Really get it going towards the Netgear, V bottom with a platform and a breakout through lateral price and lying top lines. And get to this level, VIX continues to act well, 689 from where we first put it on a swing down in the high 20s. Nevertheless, long-term target is still 55. In BTS, Navitas had a B bottom platform. The moving averages crossed over. It ran up through resistance there, and you can see the next target. For me, it's about 885.9. You get through that, 11. Oscar, pop, pull back, put a swing on it. It worked as it ran up to target number 1, and now it's consolidating. Next target is 10. OUSD. Key resistance just above here, and not only that, but the long-term declining top line is right there too. So keep an eye on this one because volume at OBV, unbalanced volume is surging. Move through the double top around 7.5, could get you to 10, 11 range. PATH, this is UiPath, the software stock breaking, extending to our target now. My target would be 32. Looking good, I like that chart. PCBX, base breakout, falling wedge, pop, platform breakout. Looks very, very good. The all-time high is right about where it is. We get through here, we can see this sharply higher. Impinge, broke out, consolidated, we put a swing on it in the low 60s, made it to 90, I believe, 90.50 on Thursday. My target now 105 and 115. Palantir, although it had a 3-wave corrective, it's held a gap and a trend line for now. That's your stop. Don't let it get on the 17th. Your targets are 20, 21 zone, and 24. Quick Logic, junior semiconductor, broke out, coiled, popped from another coil, ran up, and then a falling wedge. But this one has gone from 5 to nearly 14 in the last few months, but breaking out of it quick. And from the for wedgie, and now it's going again. This is a tech traded longer term swing. I like to look at this for a test of 40. 5th wave up, so it's overextended. Has momentum though. XC20. Careful though. Riot, along with Mara, both of these stocks are crypto, Bitcoin related. You can see the breakout and flag in here. Should it extend? 18 and 20 are targets. Rivian with a really good week, broke through the declining top line, had a breakaway gap out of a mini base, extended on Friday. My next target is at key resistance at 25. RNA, long-term downtrend, broke out, retested, created a new rising channel, and popped on Friday right to a new closing high, the highest since July or August. Next target, 10 and then 12.5. RXST, I don't talk about this too often, but I want to show you this chart. It is powerful. Friday was a big volume down there, but I think it's options related. Nevertheless, here's a stock that's gone from 9 to 40. I still think you can see mid 40s. Rhythm, one of my old favorites. Range, currently in the mid 40s. Looks like a new all-time high, folks. Yeah. Excuse me. It's extended, but it may have a run that takes us down near the 50 range. Sava, long-term downtrend, inverse head and shoulders, rising angle of ascent on the shoulder line and the neckline, and a breakout. At resistance, momentum could take this to 37. Shopify broke out Thursday, and it looks like it wants to extend. My targets are 80 and 88. SHOT, when it exploded in October, November, when it went from 110 to 750. Sevenfold increase. It came down again. It's got this wedge forming or coil. I just don't want to see it drop under 3. With any kind of energy, it could take off. Clearly rising, but I'd wait for the pop. SLNO popped and pulled back. We put a swing on it in the low 20s. It's made it to the 39.24 range and still looks higher to me. My target's 50. Snap, well, what a base. and what a breakout. What a rising trend line and a tight one. This has gone from 9 to 17 and just about doubled with a target of 20 now. Snow, another tech trader swing and a beautiful long-term base which can support a big move. My ultimate target on an intermediate basis is 245.50. SoFi, double bottom breakout and then multiple waves down to test support. Snapback flag and breakout tells me we can go to 12 and 14. SPWR, another junior in the solar group. It is not a junior solar, but it's a junior price at $6. However, it broke out of the base through the moving averages and through the declining top sign. I'm now looking for 7 3/4 and 9 for SPWR. Which popped out of a coil. We put a swing on it. It went vertical, literally from around 12 to 20. 1983. Flagging now, looking higher. 24.5 target. SSNT exploded and now it's wedging. Keep an eye on this one. If it pops, it could go vertical, and it could be one of those 50 to 100% movers pretty quickly. SSYS, a tech trader swing. I like this stock. I think it goes higher. It may be acquired as well. Targets are 14, 15.5. STNE pop, broke out. We put a swing on it. It's done nothing but go higher. I have a target now near 20, 19.5. TAL. This low-priced Chinese educational stock continues to push with a long-term chart. Big 1, 2, 3, 4, and the fifth wave could culminate in a move into the mid to high teens. DGTX got hammered from mid 30s down to the high single digits. It was rallied and nearly had momentum. 22 as this entire gap is now being filled. It could back to TMDX similarly broke down hard, had a massive breakaway gap from the edge, held support, and worked its way higher, then flagged and broke out and got to my target at 80. 81.94 is reached. My next target is 95. Tandem, look at the breakout above the moving averages and above the declining top line. Momentum could carry this to mid 30s. TPST, one day explosive move, 171 million shares, 182 to 977 in a day. And then a couple months of coiling. Look how narrow and quiet it got before it popped out midweek. Didn't explode, but with any kind of volume, particularly over 440, this stock could go vertical. Keep an eye on this one. Unity Software, spike low, leaving a tail reversal, a little coil, a pop and a little flag, and then a run that took it from 31 to nearly 40. My extension target is 47. UEC and the uranium group backed off and held support. I'd keep a stop under 5 3/4. The targets are 7 and 8. EYS, tech trader swing, which popped, has run 6. Should it get to that base? Then I'm looking for 8, 8 1/4. Upstart broke out of the base and kept going, and it looks good from extension to the low 50s. BKTX broke out, we put a swing on it. That one too extended to target number 1 near 20. Secondary target, 25. Veronis has been great all year, but in particular, since it popped here, that was just October 31st. So less than 2 months, it's gone from 31 to 45. Target 50. VRT, another beauty with a channel top and an extension target that looks like 54.5. BST, similarly, a rising channel, big reversal day off the low on Friday. My target now, high 30s, low 40s. Vizio, popped and flagged, and we put a swing on it. It's moved up 6 3/4 to about 8. My next target is 9. Wolf finally broke out of a little base. 49.50 is my next target. Wheat and precious metals, the leading silver purveyor, is already may have begun as a takeover. Stock's at 22, the 1.5 years. And it's likely, I think, we're going to see a takeover early next week. XPO Logistics, my favorite transportation stock. comes out of a base and continues to channel up, I'm not going to be shocked by seeing 100, 110 on this stock. Finally, VIX-X finally broke out of the base that we were looking at this one for weeks. Big week on Friday. Take a look. It's been up for 8 days in a row, folks, having gone from a little bit over 8 to 1069. Some resistance at 11.5. We get through that, it's 14. And folks, I'm going to waylay the short side for now. I'm going to do a lot more work over the weekend, trying to find more patterns I think are shortable. But for now, that's where we stand. A long list of longs that are still very attractive, as you can see, along with the underlying technicals, which show the market overbought, but still with momentum. This is HP signing off. Have a great rest of your weekend. As often as you can to get prepared for next week. I'll talk to you guys later. I apologize if there's any problems with the sound. I think it might be my microphone, and I will be getting a new one this weekend. Bye, everybody.